Hello and welcome to Lifetime in Court, the podcast where we discuss your favorite made-for-TV movies. Whether you love to hate watch or hate yourself for loving them, pour up a glass of your favorite cocktail and join us. I am your host, Patrick Serrano, and my guests today are...
I am Drew Curran, as always.
And I'm Kathleen Gibson. Nope, that's not my name anymore. Just got married. My name is Kathleen Butler-Duplessis now, and my husband just gave me the side eye.
Uh-oh. We got to end it. We got to end the podcast.
And thanks for listening to Lifetime in Court. Okay, goodbye.
That's it. Bye.
Good night to you and my marriage.
So, we're not ending marriages here.
No.
We're here.
started.
We're here to talk about Lifetime. We had a rough technical week last week. So thanks, listeners, for checking in and making sure we were okay.
We're learning and living, and we're doing it.
We're doing
we gotta
it.
learn as we go.
It was really cute, Drew, because I didn't tell you, but some listeners were like DMing the Lifetime in Court account and being like, "Hey, just want to make sure everything's okay. Like there wasn't an episode, and you didn't mention that there wouldn't be one."
That's great.
And I'm like, "Oh, I better make a post." So that's when I made the Candace sabotage us again.
Oh,
post.
Candace, it's her fault.
Oh my God, she
probably.
totally did.
She did.
She did it.
It was
She
her
broke
fault.
the quarantine,
She
flew
just
to your
doesn't-
apartment,
Yeah.
and messed
She just
up your audio.
She doesn't want us to expose her for what she really is.
It's true. It's like Ellen. Everyone loves Ellen, but Ellen's really mean.
I mean, you know what? But she's funny as shit, and she deserves to be mean, I feel like.
That's true. She's been around a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, I humbly disagree, babe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like Ellen, but I know a lot of people like Ellen, so I don't want to polarize. I can hate on Candace because not many people actually like Candace.
Right.
I once again disagree.
I mean, they're not like real fans. They're like, oh, I like her.
I love Candace Cameron Bure, and I do not like Ellen. Sue me.
Okay. Controversial topics on Lifetime in Court.
Okay.
So before we get started, we have a new review this week because we're just doing it all. We asked for reviews a couple weeks ago and people delivered. We have this review from 5 stars, of course, from J Bure 2C. Mm-hmm. The subject is a heart emoji. And then it's just emojis. So it's a thumbs up emoji, a crying, laughing emoji, a lipstick kiss, a selfie arm, a star, a wine, a whiskey shot, a donut, a face with hearts around it, and then a heart with an arrow through it.
Do you think he just did like his recents and just hit all of them?
Yeah.
Which, honestly, like a person...
These are the emotions that they go through
on a regular basis. And for that, what's their name? J
Bure 2C.
J Bure 2C. I salute you.
Hell yeah, dude.
My emojis are all like cry face, and that's pretty much it.
Just cry face. That's
Some
all
hearts.
I use.
Some hearts.
I like hearts. I like the kissy face and the wine glass.
Oh yeah, except they don't have white wine, which is all I drink.
Yeah, me too. Lately, I haven't been drinking red. It's just not appropriate for quarantine.
No.
Because we're still quarantined in Chicago, just so everyone knows.
Oh yeah.
Either vodka or white wine. Yeah.
I drink clear liquors and white wines like a housewife.
There you go.
Which I was until my husband left me at the beginning of this episode.
And we'll have to
it's going to be a real emoji shift
divorce.
over here.
Yeah. It's going to be a divorce.
Totally. All right, so business time is over. Now we are going to talk about the movie today, which you don't know, Drew, because
I do not know it.
It is intense.
You really missed a doozy on this one.
Yeah. This one's called Deadly Mile High Club. Deadly Mile High Club.
Yep.
Sounds amazing.
It stars...
It sounds amazing.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
It stars Allison McAtee, Marc Herrmann, and Marie Dobbins.
Wow.
Yeah. big stars in this one.
Wow.
It's a who's who of who's that, as my friend Brian likes to say.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And I sent the trailer in the email for this one, which I don't usually do. So, Drew, you saw the trailer, or you could have seen the trailer.
Oh, I did. Yes, I did see the trailer of this.
Yeah. And I got to say, man, the trailer is a pretty good indicator, but not a good indicator at all because it's insane.
It's truly one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life.
So it's actually crazier than the trailer because I didn't understand what they were doing.
Honestly, I didn't watch the trailer, but I can assure you it's crazier.
It's not a spoiler, because I'm just like, what?
Nope. Not a spoiler at all because this is the craziest Lifetime movie I've seen in quite a while.
Fantastic.
Quite a while.
Can't wait.
And not in like a, ooh, that was great. This is like a, what the hell is going on?
What are we watching? What are we co-signing by watching?
Right. We're giving this ratings. I feel bad about this, but we'll get to it. So the movie starts off. We, of course, start off with really bad CGI, like they're in a cockpit or something, and there's CGI lightning everywhere. They're in a storm.
Oh, so some bad green screen inside of a cockpit.
This whole movie is green screen and then a toy airplane flying across a blue backdrop.
It really is.
It really is. So there's a woman. Her name's Tanya. She's a lady pilot.
Yeah.
Which I was
on board already. Yes,
female pilot. I'm into this. She's saving all the people on the plane.
She's got a good haircut.
It's not a commercial jet or whatever. It's like a little dinghy plane,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little prop plane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's flying with this guy. He has a mullet, and he's like, "What do I do? The plane's gonna crash." She's like, "We got to do the Mayday call," and they're like, "Mayday, Mayday," and the plane is going down.
Uh-oh. Did it get struck by lightning or something?
Probably. I mean,
something like that. Unclear.
It seemed nefarious. It seemed like she was in on it or something, is what I was thinking.
Little known fact, airplanes being struck by lightning is the rarest thing ever. Because there's no reason for lightning to hit a plane because they're not grounded. They'll be hit by lightning way more often if they're on the ground, taxiing. You wouldn't get hit by lightning in the air. Anyway,
well, let's just say it does get struck by lightning because that just adds to unbelievability of this movie.
Yeah,
and they go down, and then she wakes up. She's in a hospital. She has even worse special effects makeup on. She has blood coming out of her nose and blush on her eyebrows.
It has real Ben Nye Kit freshman year of college energy.
Totally. There's laugh lines on the forehead, aging line.
Yeah. It's she went to go do to play an old lady in an Oscar Wilde play at her a theater competition in high school, but then got called away to do this.
Yeah, It was terrible. And she wakes up and she's like, where is he? Where is he? And the nurse has no bedside manner. She's just like, he dead. Bye.
Pretty much.
Oh, he died.
Immediately upon her waking up. Mm-hmm. Immediately upon her waking up.
Yeah, totally rude. So then she says, he dead. And it's dramatic pause. And then the happiest music you've ever heard in your goddamn life.
Yeah, quick cut to up-tempo California rock is what I put.
Yeah, 6 months later, they're in California. They're they're in a music video. Think of
yeah, it was very California Dreamin', even though I don't even know if it took place in California, but that's just what this whatever.
It was the vibe.
Yeah.
Sample they pulled.
We see this handsome twink guy. He is our protagonist.
Yeah.
So we have a male protagonist in this Lifetime movie.
A male protagonist and correct on twink. Yeah.
Total
and then
twink.
we meet who I am calling second-rate Lili Tomlin.
Oh.
Yep. Who plays his mother-in-law, which we find out just one scene later. Yeah. But she is a no-nonsense business lady, business person who runs a factory that this little twink works in.
Business.
Yeah, and her name's Margaret. And think the nanny almost. Mm-hmm. The nanny energy, but without Fran Drescher's sex appeal.
It's very...
dude,
it's
Diane
Lili
Robin.
Tomlin.
Diane Robin, she was in like, she's been in so many fucking like 80s movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Yeah, and RoboCop and fucking Sudden Death.
But it seems like she's
acting on another planet, man. Like she was in
another planet. Play. She was definitely in a different play.
But like
Sudden Death is a Van Damme joint.
Yeah.
FYI, just if anyone wanted to.
Yeah, she was definitely Lili Tomlin's understudy at Summer Stock, and like has carried that energy throughout her career.
Yes. So the handsome twink, his name's Jake, and he doesn't really want to work at the warehouse with his mother-in-law. He wants to become a pilot, so he goes to flight school. With Tanya, the woman who crashed the plane, because naturally when you crash a plane, then you teach other people.
Yeah.
Those who can't do teach, right?
Just 6 months later, after being in a horrific crash where your fiance dies, that's when you think, you know what I'm going to start doing back in the saddle. I'm going to get back in that cockpit.
It would be like if my mom taught improv.
Sure.
Did your mom's fiance die in an improv accident?
Yeah,
she got hit with a red ball.
Yeah,
yep, 100%. So
right in the dome, right in the temple, dead.
So when Tanya sees Jake walk into the class, and she's like doing a roll call or whatever, he says his name's Jake, and that was the name of her like boyfriend or whoever he was.
Also, roll call of 6 people sitting at a conference table, which is flight school.
Yeah. So then she has flashbacks to the accident and the co-pilot and like her meeting him, and like it's like an unnecessary montage of the guy with the mullet who we just saw die, like establishing, in case you didn't know, this guy was dating her. We're like, we got it.
Got it. Thank you.
But thank you. She goes home on her laptop and she like pulls up pictures of the guy who died, and then she pulls up the student ID card of Jake, the twink.
Yeah. Because all 6 of them need to make sure we know who's who with their ID cards.
Right. And she's just like, oh my God, Jake, I love Jake. And she like fixates on the new Jake. She like transcribes old Jake onto the new Jake, basically. Yeah. And she's having her psycho moment.
Yeah. Because guess what? If your fiance did die in a plane crash that you were a part of and you survived, guess what? It would make you fucking crazy.
Yeah, you'd need some time off, probably.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be back teaching in 6 months later.
I wouldn't fly again.
Right.
I wouldn't fly a plane.
She does.
This woman flies all over the place. So meanwhile, we have Jake. We follow Jake to his house, and he has a wife named Annie,
who we meet in the most ridiculous fuchsia fedora anyone has ever seen.
Oh my God. This fedora. I'm going to pull up a screen share for you, Drew, and I'll share it on Instagram. But it is the most wild thing I've seen.
But having now watched... So
it's like a pink fedora with like a black band on it.
Yeah.
In 2001, did I buy a pink cowboy hat from Claire's? Yes, I did. But... And I think we do have to keep in mind that Canada is 10 years behind us fashion-wise, and I'm assuming this is filmed in Canada. But also, what I've learned from watching these Lifetime movies is, like, nothing is wasted in them. So I'm like, there's no way she's wearing this insane-looking hat and it's not going to be a thing. Like, Forgotten... Not to mention not to bring up our Forgotten podcast that was lost due to technical area.
R.I.P. podcast.
R.I.P. podcast.
R.I.P.
But
man.
they like kept mentioning this girl's boots, and I was like, well, something's gonna happen with these boots.
Yep, this is the same with the fedora.
And you'll never find out because the file is dead.
The file's corrupt. We don't have the boots episode for whatever the fuck that movie was called.
You'll never hear it.
But I learned that, like, yes, this hat is insane, but it's got to be insane for a reason. And boy, was I right.
Exactly. So the Jewish mother comes over, Margaret, the Lili Tomlin knockoff. She's like shady as hell, and she's like, Jake, you're stupid. You work in the warehouse, and that's all you'll ever be is a warehouse person. And I don't know why my daughter married you.
Yeah. The first third of this movie is a lot of being like, Jake, you're fucking really dumb. Like, you're a dumb idiot, dumb.
Dumb.
But like he kind of is, which we'll get into more.
And I think it's the actor. I at first I thought it was a character choice, but then I'm like, I don't know. I think the actor might be a dum-dum.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I need to see him in something else.
Also, like, but his character wasn't that great, because in that scene when she's wearing that insane hat and being like, I'm just sitting here in this absurd fedora finishing up my doctorate, like that was literally the scene. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's just that I dream about being a pilot, because then we could like go on vacations. Like, you couldn't just get a Capital One card and like get yourself some miles and go somewhere.
No, you gotta fucking get that pilot license and go. Man, you could just go whenever, especially during an apocalypse.
Oh, true. Yeah.
True.
I mean, honestly,
Can anyone fly a plane? Yes, I can.
I actually can. So Jake is like trying to convince his wife Annie to like let him go to flight school, and the whole time he has his shirt off, which I was like, okay. Thank you, Lifetime. Great. You're listening to this podcast and you understand that men should be shirtless in movies.
Yeah.
The whole scene, he's shirtless, and she's like, I don't think you're smart enough to go to flight school. And I'm like, damn, everyone's dogging him real bad for being dumb.
Like, literally, she was like, did you even like fucking ever take a math class? Did you finish high school?
Did you graduate high school?
Yeah. Honestly, it was a gray area in the film. Did he graduate high school? We don't know.
I don't think so.
You got to learn maps and shit. You got to learn where you at. Where you at? Right
he
now.
Retaliates by saying, "You're sounding a lot like your mother right now, and I don't want to fuck your mom." Basically, and she's like, okay, you're sleeping on the couch.
Nice burn, bro. Nice burn.
Yeah.
It was really, really random, and she got really offended. But, you know, her mom's knockoff Lili Tomlin. If her mom was Lili Tomlin, then she'd be okay with it.
Oh, my God. I would do anything to be in that family.
Right? So we learned...
actual Grace and Frankie?
Yes.
The Tomlins? Grace and Frankie. Grace and Frankie. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen the show, but I feel like I want to be a part of that family.
You haven't seen that show? Are you fucking nuts?
I feel like it's made for Kathleen.
I love it.
Oh, my God. It's my mom's favorite.
It's so good. Anyway.
Okay.
We're not here to talk about that show.
No.
Are we going to start a new podcast where I just watch every episode of Grace and Frankie and Drew and I talk about it?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, why not?
Fucking let's down.
Stay tuned. Okay, back to flight school.
We learned that flight school is very sexy, okay? So Tanya only speaks in double entendres the whole time. She's like, get in that cockpit. Pull up on that. If I don't know any. Oh, we're lifting off, nice and
pull
smooth.
Pull up on that joystick.
Yeah, use your full power, full throttle.
This is also like where I really wish I knew anything about like flight words, because it's like a lot of these movies are like, you know.
I do know a lot of it because my sister has her private pilot license. So she
is your sister Tanya.
She is. She is actually.
This is going to get awkward then.
This movie is actually a documentary about.
You're going to hear a lot about your sister that you don't want to know.
Your sister is not going to be shown in the best light.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Go, don't believe it.
I lived with two flight attendants for a time in my life. It was a wild time, and
there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of terms in flight that are totally sexual innuendos.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like really funny because she's like really leaning into it. The actress is like very sexual, and like Jake's kind of like, what's going on? Like, I'm married. I got a wedding ring on.
What the fuck?
And she like flirts with him. She's shameless. She's like, you know what? Come with me and deliver some airplane parts. We got to go deliver these airplane parts. So he's
real
like,
plausible.
Yeah. He's like, okay, I guess I could do that. And instead of delivering the parts, they just go to a diner and have coffee. I don't know.
Yeah. You're going to deliver your airplane part to my vagina.
To my vagina. Oh, wait. That's actually pretty explicit.
Right. I think you meant to say like airplane hanger or something.
I lost metaphor midway.
Let's see what your hanger.
And when I say airplane part, I mean erect.
Right. So this is basically the conversation they're having at the diner. And he's like, I'm married.
But he's like clearly uncomfortable the whole time. And this is where it gets so weird is like, she is an authority figure to this person because like she could have a say in him getting his pilot's license or not. And she's like clearly like being like, but we should fuck, right?
Yeah. And she did it already to the other guy with the mullet. So she's like a serial like abuser of power. And it's like, Lifetime should know better than to have that be the center of the story. To
be fair, she was the villain in this, but like, I don't know that we would watch a movie where a man did this a bunch. I mean, we would.
Absolutely not. We would watch it if it was on Lifetime, but I wouldn't be happy about it. I'd be very mad.
But as long as he was a villain, I don't know. But she does then say, there's a hotel around the corner if you want to relax a little bit.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I guess a nap sounds nice. So he goes to the hotel room, and then all of a sudden his shirt's off again. And I thought we were going to get a very extended sex scene, and I was like, okay, here we are.
I strapped in for that.
Yeah, and because she like was caressing his body, and like it was getting steamy.
I literally strapped into my strap on.
Yeah, totally
for that one.
But and Jake stops.
That I mean parachute.
He is devoted to his wife, and he's like, I can't cheat on her. I know I just made out with you, and my shirt's off, and my pants are like at my ankles.
I know that we just went from a diner to this seedy hotel room with in very little amount of time.
And she's like, oh, that's fine. I'm just going to go to the bathroom for a minute, and I'll be right back. She goes into the bathroom. She closes the door. She looks at herself in the mirror, and then she starts like screaming into a towel.
Full PTSD panic attack.
Yeah. And she's like crying, and she's like...
Because she literally almost died 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yes, this woman needs to go to therapy. She needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead she's trying to go into Jake. And by into, I mean the other way around. Or who knows? They might be begging.
You never know.
She's pegging, man.
She comes out of the bathroom and she's like, Jake, you know what? I overstepped. I'm sorry. How about I take you and your wife out for a plane ride? So then we cut to the plane ride.
Yeah. Which also, I was so disappointed that we cut to the plane ride with the wife because I was like, I wanted to see the awkward plane ride back.
Yeah.
Because they had to get back somehow.
Exactly.
And they had to sit in that tiny plane together after he was like, just kidding. And she just had a meltdown.
Right. Nope. We just cut right to the next day. Annie's
here
like,
we go. We're in the air.
Yeah.
Flying.
Basically.
Lift works. The physics of lift works on this plane.
And what happens during the flight, Drew, is that Tanya starts doing like airplane tricks. And Annie's like, I'm really freaked out by this. Can you stop doing this?
She's also like, still wearing that hat.
Wearing the bucket hat.
That's her go-to hat.
Or the fedora. And she's like, I don't like this and I'm scared. And then she like Tanya turns the plane on its side. She presses a button, pops open the passenger door, and pushes Annie out of the airplane.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
So
and the dude, and what does the dude do? What does he do?
He's just sitting there. Mm-hmm. Because it was a fantasy. They tricked us. It's a fantasy.
Oh, it's a fucking dream. Oh, fuck off with your dreams.
Yep. So
I really hate dream sequences in movies. Well, I'm not a fan.
They're in the plane. It just didn't really happen. So she's just like flying, and
it was just like a quick little vision. But they're
Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh no. But yeah, she gets like scared or something, and she tells Jake, Annie does. She's like, you know what? You shouldn't hang out with Tanya. She should just be your teacher, and she's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And then they get in this big blow up fight, and so at some point during this fight, it's revealed that they haven't had sex in 3 years.
Right.
Which I'm like,
Keep
the fuke? Like, you're with this hot little twonk. And while this woman is wearing like a fedora, it doesn't mean she's like, well, actually, honestly, a person that wears that hat, I don't think it's fucking anybody.
And it turns out 3 years ago is when she started wearing the fedora.
Right.
Coincidence?
She saw like a Britney Spears video and like from like 2001. She's like, I'm going to bring this look back.
I'm going to make this a thing. This is a thing. I'm only going to wear this hat. I'll wear it to bed. I'm going to wear it.
Honestly,
always,
would
forever.
Believe it. I don't think we ever see her. Oh no, we see her like twice in the movie with that hat on.
Right. Like in the shower, she doesn't wear the hat.
Yeah.
So another flight training session happens, and Jake and Tanya are flying around, and they're like talking, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, like, you know, whatever. You do probably think I'm still hot, but like I get it that you can't sleep with me. Let's go fly by your house really quick. Like, what's your address? And then he tells her, and they go fly by, and they see the pink hat, like Annie and the pink hat running out from the house and like making out with a dude.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, that's funny."
But from overhead, from the.
Yeah, they fly like low down to the ground and see it somehow. I think they said like 500 feet or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jake's like, "Oh man, my wife's cheating on me. That's terrible. I guess we're like back on then."
Yeah.
I guess let's do this.
Oh, I just realized it's after he comes home and he's like, "Hey, I saw you cheating on me today."
Yes.
That's when they have the fight, that it's revealed that they haven't had sex in 3 years.
And the best thing about the fighting is that the actress, Annie, she's like actually like fighting in the scene. And the man, whatever his name is, Jake, he's just like, "I'm angry. This is outrageous. I'm leaving now. Don't text or call me." You know? Like,
he's very much a model.
Very much a model. Like, the acting was so terrible.
Yeah.
And like, this man is so beautiful that, you know, I don't want him to listen to this podcast and then hate me and not like give me a chance. But, you know, give me a chance.
I think you've got one.
I could help you with your acting.
I think you got a chance. Yeah.
You know, and even for a model, like, he had a lot of neck hair that needed to be trimmed.
I think all of us. I think
never
all of us
noticed
could
his neck
help him.
hair.
It really drove me crazy. I'm like, "Do you have a good barber? Your neck needs a trim, man. You're in a movie. You were in a movie.
You're in a damn movie.
Do better." We'll get to why all this is problematic, because I it's not the actors. We never blame the actors. I have a specific target in mind, and we'll talk about it at the end.
Good. Okay.
So Jake opens up to Tanya about everything that's going on, and she's very sympathetic, and like she's like, "Just stick with me and whatever." But as he's leaving flight school, this like woman comes up, and she's like in a flight attendant outfit, and she's like looking,
but like a sexy flight attendant outfit, not like actual like hot. Delta. Yeah,
she's looking very nice, and she's like, "Hey, we have a rival flight school, and you know, we do like flight tricks and stuff. And if you want to come to our school, we'll teach you how to be like a fighter pilot, not like a loser commuter pilot."
Yeah. And she's also like with her friend, also in the hot flight attendant outfit. And it felt very much like Shot Girl brand ambassadors that are like, "Try this Jack Daniels."
Totally. I used to be one of those girls.
Oh my God. I wish I could be. I have friends who like do that, and I'm simply not hot enough.
It's fun.
It's very good money.
Well, you know, they're not making money right now.
No, so nobody's making money. And look at me teaching piano lessons to the wealthy online. But before this, in flight school, he's like sulking the next day because he's, you know, probably about to get a divorce from his wife in the corner. So he's at the end of the conference table because all of flight school is just a conference room. So he's at the end of the table sulking with his, you know, as best he can with the tools that he has as an actor. And all the other students are gathered around Tanya with the first aid kit. And it pans through the first aid kit. She's like, "So, you know, just basics of your first aid kit. You know, we got peroxide, Band-Aids, chloroform, and, you know, and that's it for today." And it like zooms in on the chloroform.
Yep. Also coming back. Also will come back.
Yeah, he's like, "So unless anyone has any questions, we'll talk about this more later. Okay, that's it for today."
That's it for today. Okay,
I just wanted to show you this chloroform for no reason.
Yes. So
chloroform
but the chloroform is another pink hat. It's gonna come back. It
will come back. So once Jake finds out about this new school, he's all in. He calls Tanya like late at night as she's like on her laptop or whatever. He's like has his shirt off, and like for this very extended shirt off scene.
He has the shirt off in his friend's house where he's staying. And in this I think is actually brilliant of whoever was the set designer for this movie, because in the like friend's guest room that he's staying in are a bunch of creepy dolls.
Yeah, it was like a little girl's room or something.
Don't come back. Like there's just old antique creepy dolls in the room that he's staying in while he's in a fight with his wife.
That is just the set designer fucking with everybody.
And I applaud. I'm gonna look her up so I can give her a proper applause.
Exactly.
Continue.
That's some kind of. There's some joke in that one.
Yes. So he calls Tanya, tells her he's quitting, and she gets very angry. Then we have the Lili Tomlin, like, mom character, Margaret. She finds out that Jake and Annie are on the rocks. And she's, like, upset about it for some reason. Like, you'd think she'd be excited.
It's so weird because she's like, you're such a worthless piece of shit. I hate that you're with my daughter. And then as soon as he's gone, they're like, but for some reason, I feel like I need you to be with me. You know, like...
Yeah.
I need to fight for this for some reason.
Yeah. She basically is, like, following Jake all around. He goes to the new school. And at the new school, there is this guy. I forget. I think his name is
Gonzo.
Yes. Gonzo is the flight school person, and he is like, he's like a Top Gun kind of guy, I guess, but like
he's literally wearing
not cool.
Like, he hits all the cliches of he's wearing a leather bomber jacket. His plane inexplicably has no ceiling to it.
Yeah. It's like a Snoopy plane where he has like the goggles.
Snoopy plane! That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah. Totally a Snoopy plane.
Oh, okay. So he's got the full shit on.
Yes. And he is like picking a student to like come with him on the plane.
Yeah.
Okay. So
but not one of the hot flight attendant shot girls.
No. He has to preserve those for his next recruiting
and
session.
They're literally at this like recruitment event, like passing out fucking trays of appetizers and shit.
Yeah. So he picks Jake, of course, to go on, and that can't happen because Tanya tampered with the plane.
We just saw Tanya cut a cord on this plane.
Right. So all that is not good.
She's trying to get rid of... So Tanya's trying to get rid of Gonzo.
So Jake doesn't...
Kind of...
Leave her.
So that Jake doesn't leave her, but also, like, I think she just also legitimately hates this Gonzo guy because, like, there's only so much private plane instruction to go around in whatever fictional city they're in, and so...
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
So
that's what I do.
Flight school does not go well. Like, the plane, he's doing all the tricks, and...
Yeah.
If we didn't say, Margaret was already there, like, yelling at him and everything like that.
Yeah.
And like just being really rude to him, and then the plane crashes, and
in the most comedic way possible.
Yes, and the flight attendant's like, "This is the safest flight school ever," and then explosion. Totally.
Yeah, it was definitely a cartoon.
So after the crash, Tanya, she's like, "Great, Jake is mine." Margaret. Yeah. After like yelling at him in front of everybody and like just being like the most
perpetually demeaning him this entire movie and saying what a piece of shit he is, but for some reason fighting for him to get back with her daughter. Very
much like a nagging character, which is like such a stereotype that we don't really need to see in movies anymore. Like the naggy mother-in-law. Like, oh God, terrible. So anyways, she finds Tanya. And she's like, okay, like, let's like cool it with the Jake stuff. Like, you don't need to be with him. He's a married man. And I don't want you to like be messing with him. You're his teacher. He's a student.
And she's like, I'm a fancy business lady. Great. Cool. We're agreed. Now I have to go do more business things on my business trip, business stuff. Gotta go to Santa Barbara.
Yes. Business. So Tanya's like, okay, so let's go to Santa Barbara together. Like, I'll give you a flight. And
it'll be so good. She's like, I got a long drive ahead. And she's like, drive. I'll get you there in 30 minutes.
And so they create a truce. They're like, okay, we're going to go. They get in the plane and they're in the plane. Margaret's talking shit again about Jake. She's like, sucks. He, can't drive, but he's trying to fly. And who knows?
He doesn't know enough math for this.
But basically, she's like, you'd be a fucking idiot if you thought that he was smart enough to fly a plane. And Tanya's like, excuse me? She presses the button on the plane that opens the door, and she really does push Margaret out this time.
This time it is not a vision. It is the same exact way that she offed the wife in her fantasy, but this time it's real.
It's real.
Oh, okay. Wow.
She just straight up murders his mother-in-law.
Yes. And the police call Annie and they're like, your mom committed suicide.
Correct.
She jumped from a plane? Like,
Yeah.
Like they're like she jumped from a window or something, but
they're like, well, we saw her car near this building where a lot of people jump, so it must be that's what happened.
Right.
But also, like, once again,
where did she land?
Exactly.
And also, like, once again, though, like, why would the police be like, oh, it must have been a rageful flight instructor lover that
I guess you're
murdered,
right. I guess that's true.
So, like, I don't blame them for being like, I guess you jumped off a building.
But if you're flying from that high, I feel like you'd splat a lot more.
I mean, I'm no splatter scientist, but
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I mean,
I have no idea.
If you're a blood splatter specialist, you'd be like, this bitch fucking fell way higher.
Right, but it was just a cop. No. So then we get the funeral, but the funeral we don't actually see. It's just like like some dialogue over like a shot of a church because they didn't have the budget to do a funeral. And then we see Jake and Annie like reunited, and they're like, okay, like let's sell the business, like let's get back together. We're sorry. Yeah. He just like feels really bad for her, and Tanya is like not having it. So she goes up in her plane and takes more pictures of Annie like canoodling in her bucket hat with a man by the pool.
Yeah. Same fedora. This time she's like making out with a guy by the pool.
Mm-hmm. And she's like mounting him, like getting a massage. And like she has all these pictures like, on her phone that she took.
Just getting the fuck on.
And Jake is 100% with Tanya now. He's like, wow, I can't believe her. Like, fuck her. Yeah. And she, like, has sex with him, like, in the plane? Or, like...
What?
Yeah, then they fuck for reals.
Yeah, but,
they
like...
fuck in the plane?
In the plane, like, she's, like, maybe giving him a BJ or something.
Oh, yeah! No, they do fuck in the plane. And this is where I think I've had some wine tonight, and I had some wine when I watched this.
Yeah.
And this is where my notes tailor off, and I get into my grocery list.
Well, the only reason I wrote this sex scene was because as she's, like, having sex with him, he says, Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, God. I forgot about that.
What?
Oh, because also, now I remember, because... before they fuck, she like very obviously like with like she goes and like presses autopilot, and they like zoom in on a finger pressing autopilot, and then them banging.
Yeah,
because like that's
autopilot
how
comes into
works.
play.
Autopilot. Okay,
because that's how flying works.
Annie, in her pink fedora, is like, I am not cheating on my husband. What's going on?
No, what is happening?
She goes to her neighbor in her pink fedora, and she's like, hey.
Well, she goes to her neighbor because she gets like her piece of mail accidentally.
Yeah,
and then rings her doorbell, and she's like, oh, hello, and because it's a ring kind of doorbell, it's like a video doorbell, one of the camera ones. She's like, yeah. People steal a lot of packages. I was trying to do a Canadian accent there, and it was a disappointment to my father, who is Canadian.
Oh, people steal a lot of packages.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, that's it.
And she's like, so I got this doorbell, and then she's like, oh, cool. Well, here's your letter, and then like walks away, and is like, wait a second, this thing can see my house, and so she calls her friend. And it's like, pull up this video. Let's NCIS this. Let's figure it out.
Yeah. So she reviews all the footage, finds the license plate of the car, and then goes to that person's
sees this
house.
Like model and this like other model get out of this car
and enhance. Does she say enhance that?
Yes, and the model
because it's just her doing it.
Yeah, it's her.
But yes, if it was NCIS, she would say, "Can you enhance that?"
Enhance.
The model has a pink fedora hat also, like, in the shot. She's like, that's not me. Why is she wearing my hat? So
then she finds her address.
Yeah, she goes to the model's house.
Goes to the model's house. Yeah.
And the model's just like, oh, I was hired by a producer. And then it cuts to, like, Tanya, like, pretending to be a producer.
Yeah. It's a real Sherry Pie situation.
Yeah. Oh. And she's like, it was really sketchy, but it was a modeling job.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And Annie's like, you didn't see, like...
again?
Yeah.
This happened again? Which is, like, dark for this one side character of, like, what happened to you before? She's like, these photographers and producers, sometimes they take advantage of you. And they use the pictures for something that they weren't meant for. And I don't know, I was just told to wear this stupid hat and kiss a guy.
There you go. So...
And then she's like, wait, but I didn't see any photographers. And she's like, yeah, that's the thing. It was for an aerial shoot.
This keeps happening to me. They keep telling me it's an aerial shoot, and there's no cameraman anywhere. Poor models. Poor models. So
it really does have to suck to be a model.
Poor model.
Jake is taking a shower, and it's not as sexy as it should be.
Yeah, I needed like a loofah. I needed, I needed something glistening. It was literally a utilitarian shower.
Yeah, and Tanya,
this man was just trying to get clean.
Tanya,
is it like where he has like one hand against the fucking
wall? It was literally just him washing his body.
Yeah, I was weird. Like, it was weird.
You're trying to get clean. I'm trying to get dirty. Let's.
Yeah. So as he's taking the shower, Tanya gets his phone and sees texts coming in from Annie. So she sets up a meeting with Annie, and she shows up with her chloroform. And she,
as was previously discussed,
she chloroforms Annie in the middle of the day.
Midday. With all nosy Canadian neighbors doorbell recording the
doorbell
whole thing.
saw the whole thing. That didn't come back, I don't think.
That didn't come back,
I can't remember.
I mean, I'm sure maybe in court later.
Right. So Annie gets nabbed, and then she gets put into like a crate, like a shipping crate. Not like a big one, like a little one. Like a I don't know. Some type of box. It looks like a coffin-sized
crate. Yeah, an eerily coffin-sized crate.
And she ties her up and like gags her in the crate. And then she's like loading her into the plane. And then Jake walks up and he's like, "Hey, do you need help with this box? What are you doing?"
Well, because they because Jake was like, "That's it. My wife is a dirty cheater. I guess the two of us should fly away together and like be together forever." And then Tanya's like, "Yeah, I just have to clear some things up." And by that, I mean, kill your wife. Which is like, "Yeah, I just got to clear some things up. How about we meet here at the airplane hangar at 3:00? And so she's like fussing with this pine coffin box with his wife, his not dead wife yet.
She's just passed out from chloroform.
And, she's like, I thought we said 3. I thought I very specifically said to meet me at 3 p.m. And he's like, yeah, I'm just early. I'm doing something right for once. I'm early.
Yeah, so she's like, whatever, just load this box in and let's go fly. And we'll throw it over the ocean. It's fish food. Don't ask any more questions. And
he's like, well, what's this weirdly large coffin-shaped box? And she's like, it's fish food. It's trackers. There's, the fish swallow them, and then it helps marine biologists track the fish.
And he's like very green. He's like very into it.
He's like, makes sense?
Yeah.
He's like, nothing weird about that. Great.
So then they take off in the plane.
Because he also is like, can I open it? And she's like, I want to see what this weird fish tracker is. He's like, no, it's like mostly worms. You don't want to see that.
Oh, you don't see that. So like, then we get
sense?
This is like a very not Lifetimey sex scene. They have sex on the coffin box because they put the plane on autopilot.
Whoa.
Once again, the autopilot.
And it's like
I mean, autopilot's a thing. It's a real thing.
I know, but like
once again, maybe I had too much wine in the first sex scene. Didn't involve autopilot, but this one definitely
did. And she's like on top of him, like porn, like moaning, and like it was like not the female gaze, like strong male backs and like thrusting. It was like
it was her.
It was like I clicked on a porn site that I shouldn't have clicked on, and I'm like, I don't need to see this.
Oh, she's just riding him.
It was very uncomfortable, and they did
uncomfortable for you.
I don't know. I was just like,
honestly, it was a very big thrill for me. I was like, get it, girl.
Well, I just wanted it to be a little more nice and romantic. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was proud of Tanya, even after she'd murdered 2 people.
Well, and they're having sex on the body of the wife.
Coercively force this young man to... That's the thing. That's where it's problematic.
It was just icky.
Wait. So, they're going over the
they're just over the ocean. Yeah.
Whatever ocean it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unclear. We'd never get a location.
They're going to dump the body that's in a coffin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Yep.
But, okay.
So after they're done having sex, Tanya's flying the plane. Jake has the box. He's going to throw it out the door. And he's like, 1, 2, and then he's like, wait, is this box biodegradable? You know how I care about the planet.
Yeah, this is where he turns into the real dum-dum that Lili Tomlin's been talking about all along.
Yeah. And
he's like, wait, 1, 2, wait a second. Like, he does a bunch of those.
It was
and
like a
all
cartoon.
of his questions are so dumb. He turns into a cartoon.
And Tanya's just like, dude, like throw the fucking box. Like shut the fuck up, you idiot.
Just throw this out so I can kill your wife and we can be together.
But as like he's asking all these questions, it gives Annie time to untie herself and like be like, "Don't throw me in the ocean."
So
and
she's in the
box.
She's in the box,
but she's not dead.
She's not dead.
No, she's not dead. But she was passed out from the chloroform while they fucked. But then she sort of started waking up as she's being jostled about by her husband, wondering about climate change all of a sudden.
Yes. Chloroform doesn't.
And then
it doesn't work for hours.
No,
it only.
He has the box, and he like looks at the box, and he's like, "Annie, are you in there?"
Yeah, because she's like, "Jake."
Like, "Annie, are you okay?"
She's like, yeah, I'm here.
I did just fuck this weird psychopath on top of the box I'm in, but I'm here.
And so then sorry. He looks at Tanya and he's like, "Oh," like he realizes, "Oh, you're bad. You're a bad person."
And he sets the box down, and then Tanya.
She puts the plane on autopilot
once again. Puts very obviously and dramatically puts the plane on autopilot, and then hits Jake over the head with a like fire hydrant or something.
Yeah,
something heavy.
The fire extinguisher.
Yeah, no hydrant.
Fire hydrant.
They don't have those in the air.
An entire fire hydrant.
Yeah, and it's funny because like this is where he should be like really freaking out and being like afraid of her, but he's just like very calmly like, "I'm gonna call the police now on you, bad person."
He goes like, "I'm calling the police."
This is outrageous. Like, I can't believe this.
Wait, so he's like, "Ow." What?
No, this is before. So before she hits him, she's like, he's like, "This is now you've drawn the line. I'm calling the police." And then she's like, "Oh, this fucking dumb little twink. I just wanted some dick, and here we are. I was just trying to get my pussy more wet.
There we go.
I was gonna say get my dick wet, but." I was just trying to get my dick wet, my lady dick wet, and you had to fuck this up by caring about climate change and wondering what's in the box, and now I have to murder you. So, boink, I'm hitting you over the head, and then I'm just going to leave this plane be, and I'm going to jump out of the plane with my parachute.
She puts her parachute on, she jumps out, the plane's on autopilot still. She puts on her
freaking...
it's fine.
Who's that lady pilot from the 20s?
Amelia Earhart
goggles.
Yeah.
She puts on her Amelia Earhart goggles. Sure does. She's like, "Bitches, I'm out."
So, Annie is in the little coffin thing. She uses her keys to unscrew the screws.
Yeah, Annie's a true hero of this film.
She is.
We hate her the whole time because of her hat choices, but then when you see her dumb husband lying uselessly beside her, and her being like, "Guess I'll have to figure out how to get out of this wooden box that I've been trapped in by myself."
Yeah.
And she figures out a way to like
Bless you.
Get out of her like hands that are tied together, find her keys in her pocket, and unscrew the screws that are screwing the box together.
Yes. And
all in a chloroform haze.
She goes to like land the plane and she's like, "I don't know what I'm doing. But like,
watching her fly the plane was really.
She's like doing me, like pressing all the buttons and like pulling things.
Yeah, and like holding on. Sorry, go ahead.
Does she call the actual?
No, she doesn't know that's
towers
a thing.
Of anything.
No.
Hey, I don't know.
She doesn't do anything.
She just holds on to the steering
buttons.
wheel like you would at a Dave and Buster's.
Totally. But Jake wakes up and then he like takes over the steering, whatever it's called, the wheel,
and proves to her finally that he's not a dum-dum, even though he very much is.
They like fighter jet fly the plane over, and they're like, "We're gonna swoop in and knock Tanya down with engine pressure." Like, we're gonna use the engine pressure.
So they see Tanya in this like abandoned field where she's landed with her Amelia Earhart goggles and her parachute. And she's like, "Well, I guess I dodged that bullet." And then sees the plane coming and she goes, "What? And then the plane comes like towards her and she tries to outrun the plane on foot.
Multiple times.
On foot. Multiple times. She's like running suicides. Like she's going back and forth as the plane keeps circling around with Dum Dum Jake flying it.
Yes, but
as he's flying it, then he does get on the like,
yes, he calls the police.
What do you call it? The signal thing. And he's like, "Hey, local police enforcement, come get this crazy lady."
Yes.
Because you have to talk to... Oh, my God.
So the police come. God. They apprehend Tanya. They take her away. And then we cut to this is the weirdest scene in the movie, I would say. So Annie and Jake buy a plane.
Which is a lot for a movie that included a stunt flight scene with a man named Gonzo.
Right.
Murdering a bargain rate Lili Tomlin and a fedora.
So they buy the plane from a random guy, and the guy's like, oh, I'm going to miss that plane. That plane was my dad's, and he died.
Yeah, because they're like, once they make it out safe, they're like, you know what? I guess I am a pilot. I'm going to spend all my money on this plane.
And Jake and Annie are like, oh, hey, man, we're sorry your dad died. You can fly this plane whenever you want. And they like high five. And then they like are laughing. And he's like, Annie, thank you so much for forgiving me for cheating on you with my flight instructor. And she's like,
yeah, she also like, at this point, the wife doesn't know that they fucked.
No, and he's like,
like, I literally have no reason to tell you this, but I just need to tell you, I had sex with that woman a bunch of times, including on top of your chloroform body.
Right. And she says,
I'm sorry.
She says, oh, well, that's fine. Because, I was hanging out with my professor a lot, too, while you were gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's like, huh? And then the movie ends.
Fair enough. And then they jump in midair and high five and freeze
Drew,
frame.
I need you to have your sister watch this movie.
Yeah. She needs to this movie's based on her life, so.
Yeah. Your sister a sexual predator?
Right.
She is. She definitely is.
So that is the movie.
Not at all.
On the podcast, we either pour it up or put a cork in it. We'll start with Kathleen. What are you going to do to this movie?
Oh, my God.
I mean, honestly, so last night as I was watching it, once again, I'm going to reiterate, I was drinking heavily because it's quarantine, and that's what we're doing these times.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kept getting sidetracked by like social media and then having to like rewind and be like, wait, she just killed that woman? Like there was a lot of that happening. And so my distraction made me think like, am I going to put a cork in it? But then like after us explaining this movie to Drew, I'm like, oh no, I'm pouring every single ounce of this out. And also like, I do think it's important. I mean, I'm going to make this as a message, even though it was just poor taste on Lifetime's, like,
right.
But it's like, she was the female pilot Harvey Weinstein. Like, she was like using her influence and power to fuck this poor little twonk who like just wanted to learn how to fly because he couldn't get a freaking Flyer Miles credit card to take his wife to Aruba.
Right.
But I like it because it's like, hey, ladies, we also have to be aware of our power and like not.
Everyone does. Every human being does.
That's true. That's true.
But also it's just like you say that and then it's like, I work for a large comedy institution where like people have been fired for doing that very same thing with their students. And I think like, hey, guess what? I've managed to like work here and not bone a single 22-year-old improviser.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It wasn't even hard. I didn't even want to.
Yeah, you don't want it.
And even if I did,
you a normal person.
I would be like, hey, guess what? Literally in my HR meeting, the only two things they were like, hey, don't show up to work drunk and don't fuck your students. Those are the only two things. Don't be drunk at work and don't fuck your students. And people can't follow those rules. And so many people can't follow those rules.
Yeah, no.
And so like
pretty simple.
All this flight instructor had to do was not fuck. And also she could have, when he was like, hey, guess what? I want to go be a Top Gun with Gonzo. She should have been like, great, go hang with Gonzo. Then we can fuck all we want.
Exactly.
That could have been the end of the movie. That she didn't have to get followed around by a plane in an abandoned field.
No.
So is this a pour it out?
I'm pouring it out. I'm pouring it out. Sorry, I went way off the rails there.
Oh, you're corking it. You mean you're corking it?
No, she's pouring it out.
Oh, you're pouring it up. Okay,
I'm pouring it out. I'm pouring it out because it was wild. It was a wild ride.
Okay, Drew, how about you?
But condemning its messages.
Yes.
I'm gonna. Man, this is a tough one because I do like how it's fucking weird and all over the place and just like totally not a normal Lifetime movie. I think I'm gonna pour it up because they tried. I'm gonna give them the "you tried" trophy.
Yeah.
And like you tried to get I don't know, some fucking weird. This shit was confusing as hell to me. But I don't base pour up or cork because of confusion.
Nor should
Otherwise, I'd put a cork in everything. in everything we do.
Totally.
I'm gonna pour it up because of like how weird this was, and it was interesting to be like, wait, what and what? Mm-hmm. So I'll pour it up on that basis.
Patrick, before you answer, can you tell us, is this one of the like Canadian films that Lifetime just bought as opposed to a regular Lifetime movie? Because that's been like really interesting to know.
Yeah, this is definitely like a Lifetime Canada version.
Yeah.
So, that's all they have right now. They're not producing anything. I think the Lorena Bobbitt's the next thing to come that they produced. We'll get to it. But everything else is just Canadian thrillers. And probably some that they passed on before. Maybe this was an older one. I don't know.
Maybe that would explain the Fedora. Maybe it was written when Fedoras happened.
It could, because they're just trying to fill the time slots at this point. So they need at least 2 movies a week, every week. Yeah. So they're doing what they can.
Stupid Fedora thing. It's just stupid. This is just stupid, and I love it.
Stupid. So I normally would love.
I'm glad I didn't have to watch.
I normally would be so into this and be like, yes, but just the way the women were written really bothered me a lot, because like normally this is Lifetime television for women, so the women are the protagonists, but in this one it was like the nagging mother-in-law, the angel, like saintly wife, and then the like slutty teacher. Like they were all like gross stereotypes, and I'm like,
they definitely were.
I'm gonna look into this and like see what's going on. And I'm like, okay, of course, not written by a woman, not directed by a woman, directed by the same guy, Doug Campbell. He does a bunch of Lifetime shit. He does like so many Lifetime movies, and all of them I've seen. And I'm usually like, that was a little weird. That was a little like, I don't know. I feel uncomfortable. And like, this guy has like a long track record, like over 40 Lifetime movies that he's directed.
It did definitely feel like they're like, that he was like, old Doug Campbell was like,
Can I read this review that got almost 10 stars?
Oh, please do.
On IMDb, real quick.
Okay.
Deadly Mile High Club was everything I wanted in a Lifetime movie. A story played very well by a very attractive cast. This movie had one dreamy actress after another that was balanced out by a consistently shirtless Marc Herrmann. The cast also delivers the good acting-wise... the goods acting-wise.
Well,
they all give very strong performances, especially Diane Robin. Robin is terrific in this movie. There are thrills, including the cheap ones, galore in this movie. Sometimes a Lifetime movie feels rushed towards the end. This one didn't. The story develops in a very satisfying way. The story is different and very well told. Top-notch movie. Lifetime or not.
Honestly, though, I agree with that last part. Having, in our movies lost to time and the episodes that were burnt in the fire, the great fire of the quarantine, I was like, it's like sometimes it's slow. And then you're like, shit, there's only 9 minutes left. How are we going to tie up all these loose ends? And then in one scene, they're like, bam. And it's like, this was consistently weird the entire way through.
Totally.
There was like weird things happening at every freaking turn.
Yeah, I'll hand it to him for that. I'll stick by my pour it up, I think.
Okay.
I feel like a traitor. I feel like a traitor to my gender because Patrick, your points are very valid. The women in this movie are monsters.
Well,
every single one of them.
You could still pour it up for that kind of shit.
Yeah, I still watch Housewives. They're all monsters.
And also my shirtless hunk was like, I'm kind of worried about his real IQ, so like that concerns me as well.
I feel like anyone having sex with him would be taking advantage of him in some way because I don't know that he's fully capable of giving consent because he seemed that dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
to be fair, this reviewer just loves every fucking movie.
Oh
my God.
Made. So
they
just there's like this. I'm so glad this movie was made.
Well,
any movie.
Like 10 years ago, I found myself on the American Girl Doll website. This is a sidebar, but I promise it'll be quick. And looking to buy one of my nieces something, or not nieces, but like little baby cousins something. And there was like these books, and I saw that it had reviews, and I was like, well, let me dive into these. And it was like fully adult women giving critiques of these like books, and not on behalf of their child, but like, Samantha really learned her lesson in this book. It was just like deeply weird. The women who are taking time out of their day to talk about these fictional doll characters.
It's amazing.
And how they felt about.
You know, reviewers are all assholes. So that's why, like, we're the worst on this podcast. We, like, review Lifetime movies. We're the worst people ever.
Also, like, here I am critiquing the acting of, like, a person who was in a movie on TV. And, like, here sit I, an unemployed actor.
Right.
Well,
who like has done like a handful of equity things. You know what I mean? Like,
I've been watching Ozark. You're right. We're not reviewing. We're like recapping. But
we're just recapping and making fun of the stupid shit. Like, that's all. That's it.
Yes.
Right?
That's true.
I'm just saying I am better than these people because I have done theater in the alleys of Chicago.
There you go. I mean, it adds a toughness to you.
So clearly I know more than this person who made a decent chunk on this movie, I would assume.
Yes. I'm just like getting to the point where like I'm going to start knowing people in these Lifetime movies because like I was watching Ozark. I told Drew last week I was going to start Ozark. And this fucking girl I went to college with is a major person in it. She's like the FBI woman in season 3.
Really?
I'm like, oh, I was her personal like wardrobe person one show. Like, this is wild. And then it really made me like reevaluate my life and like, I'm doing a podcast. This is what I'm doing? She's like, on Ozark?
No, seriously, fuck us for like forever. Like, fuck us forever.
Right? I'm like, damn. Okay. Well,
like, what are you listening to us for? What are you doing?
Exactly. You know, because we know people, okay? That's what
my only famous friend is Allison Tolman and Chris Red of Separate Live.
Yes.
But Allison Tolman, who's a dear gem, and
Emmy,
she's on
Emmy winner.
Emergence. Emmy nominee.
Oh, she didn't win?
She lost to Kathy Bates. And she's like, guys,
if you're going to lose to someone.
Last night, I got to wear a beautiful gown, and I lost an Emmy to Kathy Bates, and I ate a hot dog. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm totally fine. Please. And so she has this like amazing career, and which is so great for her. But for me, I'm like, okay, how can I get you in a Hallmark movie? How can I get you into the trash that I like? How can I get you on Watch What Happens Live? You'll never be on it because all she does is ABC things. I'm trying to bring her down to my level.
You know,
and she's not having it.
There you go. But then
once
I'm telling you, once she gets in your stuff, then you'll be like, oh man, there you are again, living my life.
Yeah.
Living my lifetime life.
Living that lifetime life.
Yeah.
I wish I had friends. Like, my friends are either doing storefront theater and improv or, you know, leading ABC dramas.
They're
I want someone to make it to the middle of Lifetime.
Yep.
That's all I want.
That's what we need.
That's what I want.
I did have a friend in a Lifetime movie over Christmas, and I told my mom, and she did not care. I was like, Mom, I know that guy. And she was like, cool. And we're like, all right.
There was one girl on a Hallmark Christmas movie that I was like, she's refreshing and great. And then I looked and I saw that she had done some other like legitimate thing with a friend that I do from Second City. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I wish she was my friend, but she's not.
There you go.
She's just a really great actress.
I would say real quick, this reviewer, she's done a lot of reviews. Or he, I think it's a he, actually.
You could just say they if you don't know.
They, PM Telephone is their
nighttime phone, babe.
Okay.
Review our podcast. Give us 5 stars.
5-star review.
And fucking say whatever you want. Give us emojis.
Say whatever you
anything.
want.
They'll probably hate us because we talk shit about their favorite movie. Their
Because
10-star review.
We really did.
Well, yeah, but we also like
we recognize that we are also
poured
trash.
We mostly poured it up.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
they got reviews of all sorts of and you can tell.
I'd say reluctantly poured it up.
This person just in 2020, I think they're bored. I think they're home. They're like just at home going through some weird movies.
Cool.
Son of the Mask, Hangover Part 2, How to Commit Marriage, Child's Play, 1988.
I'm telling you though, this quarantine really like makes you feel like I just commented on an Ina Garten post like she was going to read it. Like Ina Garten was like, I roasted 2 chickens because I'm getting tired of cooking every night. What do you do with your chickens? And I was like, make enchiladas. Like felt compelled to be one of the 1,500 comments back to Ina Garten. Like she was going to read it. I think the choir is making us like insane.
Yeah, reviews matter, and write a review.
It's making some of us insane, but I think most of us are like,
I should be talking to Ina Garten every week.
Right.
The difference is though, like we're actually going to read these reviews, and by we I mean you.
PM Telephone, fucking review this podcast and just give us 5 stars. Just help us out, like because it doesn't do anything if you give us like it doesn't matter. Just give us 5 stars, but just say whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give us 5 stars and be like, you pieces of shit! How dare you make fun of this actor? But it's like. You will read these reviews, and they're very important to this podcast. Ina Garten doesn't give a fuck that I make enchiladas every time I make her chicken. No. It's my leftover.
Maybe she does.
But like a part of me is like, I want her to know that like every time I do make her roast chicken, I do make enchiladas the next day. She's not going to know.
Maybe you blew her mind.
She'll know when she listens to this podcast because Ina Garten listens to this podcast.
Oh my God.
Okay?
I truly just like thought about her listening to this podcast and got the warmest sensation all in my body. Once again, is that the wine or is it Ina Garten? Hey, I don't know.
I'm telling you.
No one can be sure. No one can be sure.
She listens to it. Paula Deen does not listen to this podcast. Fuck you, Paula Deen. Okay? Fuck you, Paula Deen. You suck, Paula Deen. That's my new segment.
Paula Deen. Fuck you, Paula Deen.
Fuck you, Paula Deen. Or I don't know why you so mean, Paula Deen. I got to make a song.
You got to make a song.
Yeah, we talked about Ellen earlier. It's like Ellen at least isn't like saying the N-word a bunch.
That's true. At least Ellen's not racist. She's just a mean lesbian.
I don't know that she's not racist.
That's true. That's true. Let's not rule that out.
Let's start that rumor here on this podcast.
Allegedly. Everything's alleged on this podcast. Don't sue us. Allegedly. Everything.
Alleged.
All right. I think it's time for Pluggy Time. Kathleen, do you have anything to plug on your Pluggy Time?
Oh, gosh. I am Kathleen Sing Stuff on Instagram and on YouTube where I have my, I would call it critically acclaimed if you consider my fun aunts acclaimed, or critics, YouTube series, Dystopian Tips with Kathleen. And that's pretty much where I'm at. And KBD Sing Stuff on Twitter.
Okay. Yep. Drew, how about you?
You can find me, Drew, but with pants on Instagram. You can also listen to the other podcast that I co-host with my good friend Charlotte called Not Safe for Work podcast. We talk about really horrible, weird, gross shit. It's not for the faint of heart, but we have fun. We're like 2 kids under a sheet with a flashlight looking at gross things.
Wow. And also on our Grace and Frankie podcast.
Yes.
Our future Grace and Frankie podcast.
Can't wait.
But check that out. We did it for a while and we stopped for a long time, but now we're relaunching it because we're in a time of everything is garbage and nothing matters, which is the theme of the show.
That's true.
It's great, but definitely not safe for work. So don't listen to it with your children. Or
we actually say don't listen to it
with your children with all the times I said fucking tonight.
True. We got real sexy tonight. So
was the warning I gave after I said fucking, I don't know, 4,000 times on this podcast.
Don't listen to most podcasts with other children.
With other
That's
people.
silly.
Even just listen to a podcast when you're
just
by
yourself. Why are you listening out loud?
Yeah. But hey, whatever. I mean, listen to it wherever. I don't care. Great. Well, thank you both for being here, and thank you, listeners.
Oh, you didn't plug your things.
I am right now. In the outro.
I've had too much wine. Okay, I'm going to be quiet for the outro.
You can follow me at Patrick Miguel or the podcast at Life Timon Court. Don't forget to rate and review us. And what else? Oh, we have a number, 872-267-4117. Leave us a quarantine message. That would be fun.
Yeah.
There's a number?
We have a number, totally. Yeah.
Wow.
That's all I know. Okay, we'll be back next week. Maybe if Candace doesn't get us again.
She might get us again.
We'll see. Okay, bye.
Bye.